Hi there, this is Jonathan Ginsberg. I'd like to talk to you today about the importance of updating your financial information after you've met with a bankruptcy attorney. And I will tell you that in our practice, we talk to people frequently who are just kind of starting to think about maybe filing bankruptcy. Maybe they've had a couple collection calls, or maybe even a lawsuit, or they fell behind on their mortgage or their car. They've caught it up, but they're starting to see some cracks in the walls, as it were, so that they think maybe bankruptcy might be an option. They fill out the paperwork, send it in. We may meet, talk about it, and then sometimes I'll tell people, this is not, you don't need to file right now. This is not a good time. And then 6 months later, we get a call back. I think it may be time now. What you'll find if that happens is that what I'll ask you is go ahead and refill out or redo your information sheet, because the information that you provide on your bankruptcy information page, the questionnaire, that can get out of date very quickly. And I'm not really so concerned about the balances due. That really doesn't matter that much. But what happens is you may forget about a debt. You may have dealt with a particular situation where you paid something off. Someone may have loaned you some money. All these type of things could have very, very important repercussions in bankruptcy. So my point is that if you meet with a bankruptcy lawyer and you decide not to file, which again is perfectly fine, and then you come back in 4 or 6 months, don't be surprised if the lawyer, and certainly it would be in our case in our firm, asks you to redo all your paperwork or to take the forms you'd filled out and to update them. And it's really important that you do that. I'll give you a couple of examples. If you have debt, and let's say that a relative decides to help you by paying off a credit card debt, well, that could be considered a preferential payment that could be reversed. And again, it depends on when the payment was made and who made the payment and so forth. But that's something that we have to list and we need to know about, because it can end up causing some real problems. The same way, if you decide you want to pay back your dad or your mom or your brother, and you want to pay them back before filing bankruptcy, that's also potential problem. That could be a fraudulent transfer or preferential payment as well. So those are the sort of things we need to know about. If you decide to sell something, if you borrow a car from somebody, any number of things can happen, but we need to know about all that kind of stuff. So don't assume that because you filled out a form 6 months ago, the information is still valid, that nothing has changed. It's probably a good idea to get a new credit report, to really go through with a fine-tooth comb and really redo everything to make sure that it's all accurate. Because really one of the important things you want to do in bankruptcy is to make sure that you tell your lawyer everything. There's no reason to hide it from us. We're on your side. And anything you tell us, of course, remains confidential. And I will tell you that Murphy's Law tells you that if you don't tell us something, it's going to come out, and it could be a real problem down the road. So I'd rather find out about a problem before we file than after we file. One of the things I really hate the most is when I go to bankruptcy court with a client, and oh, by the way, did I mention X, Y, and Z? Well, no, you didn't, and that's a potential problem. So be really upfront with your attorney. Make sure to update the paperwork. Make sure that when you get your draft petition, that you look it over, read every single line, every single page. Don't assume it's all correct. Make sure that all the creditors are listed. This is your case, and you have responsibility to make sure that it's accurate. And if you do that, your chances of getting a good result and the result that's going to benefit you the most and help you down the road goes way, way up. So I would encourage you to be proactive, work with your attorney, update the paperwork, and understand why your attorney may be asking you to redo paperwork, because what you filled out 4, 6, 8 months ago is almost by definition not going to be accurate right now. So I hope this helps you understand why we ask for so much information, why we ask for it to be updated, and why we really insist that you read over every page of the paperwork we're about to file on your behalf. You're swearing under penalty of perjury that it's true, so absolutely let's make sure that it's true. And I don't mind reprinting petitions. I don't mind redoing it. It's all on the computer. I'd rather be accurate and be completely truthful than to guess and turn out that we're not correct. So I hope this explains the way I approach it. If you have any questions, my phone number is 770-393-4985, and I'm happy to help you if I can be of assistance. Thanks a lot.